from Learfield, this is the Buckeye Roundtable Show presented by Burger King and brought to you statewide by the American Dairy Association Mideast and Cova Insurance, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers on the Ohio State Sports Network presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics. Now, along with former OSU All-American Jim Lachey and the voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels, here's your host, Skip Mossick.
And hi again, everybody. Welcome into another Buckeye Roundtable show after Ohio State takes care of business against Grambling State 70-0. Get sets for the Ohio Bobcats this week. We'll break things down for you over the next 2 hours, talk some college football with former OSU All-American, NFL All-Pro, Jim Lachey. Hello.
Week 3 already, Skip.
Hall of Fame broadcaster, longtime voice of the Buckeyes, Paul Keels.
Just a romp all up and down the field for the Buckeyes.
Hall of Fame coach, former Buckeye head coach, John Cooper. It is always a great evening when we get to talk some college football with Coach Cooper. Great to see you.
Oh, thanks so much.
Coach Ryan Day will join us later this hour. Coach Cooper, not much to criticize when you win 70-0, but what are coaches, you've been here, what are coaches looking for after games like this to build on and improve on?
Well, you look back, and the thing I thought was very, very impressive, we put the game away in the first half. In the second half, played all those young players. We go to practice a lot. Jim and I both go a couple times a week, and it's amazing. There's a lot of activity on the practice field, and it's good to see those guys get a chance to go out there and play in a game after they've worked so hard during the week.
Jim, when you pitch a shutout, it's always a moment of pride for any defense, especially playing as many players, as Coach Cooper alluded to, as Ohio State did on Saturday. You add in getting a defensive score. What impressed you the most about the Ohio State defense Saturday?
Yeah, it was a forced shutout under Ryan Day's time as a head coach here, so those don't come very often, and you got to work for it. And had it close to one last week in the opener against Texas, but couldn't quite pull that off. But it takes a little bit of everything. Obviously, you got to, not give up anything over your head. And I thought our defensive backs did a good job. You got to stop the run, and you got to force them to punt. And our defense is able to do that. Really, the only criticism of our defense was a couple offsides penalties that led to some first downs. But all in all, it was a pretty good effort. Caleb Downs, man, you can put him at the line of scrimmage. He backs up 3 or 4 yards and snags that ball out of the air. That was impressive. But all those guys, I thought, stepped up and played well.
Paul, even though the starters only played about a half, Coach Day indicated last week that he wanted more explosiveness on offense. Mission accomplished?
Oh, no question, especially with that over the top to Jeremiah Smith. And, the way that they started offensively was a big thing. Everybody talks about a quick start. They certainly did it.
Not that they wouldn't have taken them seriously anyways, but Coach Cooper, how much of an attention getter is Ohio beating West Virginia?
Well, I think that's a great win for Ohio. There's no question about it. I don't know anything that much about West Virginia football this year, but obviously they're not very good. But Miami, Ohio University is a good football team. They won that league last year, didn't they?
They did, MAC champions.
We're going to find out more about them, of course, this weekend.
You know how coaches speak, though, or how they are, Paul. Anything to get an eye opener, they're going to use it.
Oh, absolutely. And, that was a big deal down there. They had whatever the agreement is, it's a series with Ohio and West Virginia, but usually it's like the bigger school will have the first one at home, maybe the middle game. But this series started with that game in Athens, and they packed the place and all of that. And here's the other thing. Ohio won that game despite having some turnover problems.
Absolutely. Jim, you've been there as a player. Anything to motivate, you're going to take it and use it for your advantage.
Oh, exactly right. And they you're going to watch the film, first of all, and you're going to see that they got some quality players, starting with that quarterback, Parker Navarro. He's a guy that not only can throw the football, but he can run. Last year he ran for over 1,000 yards and 18 touchdowns. He's their leading rusher this year. So big deal by the defense to keep it contained. And I think when you look at the Bobcats defense, they got some guys that can step up and get it done. But that'll all show up on film this week. And, Rich Rod, they're the second going around at West Virginia. He's going to probably say he's got to get some of his guys in there. But,
He had his guys before.
Yeah, they left.
Most of those guys playing down there, wish they were up here. So we better get ready to take their best shot, and I'm sure we will.
Tonight's broadcast, as well as all of our Buckeye Roundtables throughout the season, are available on our flagship station's YouTube page. Simply search WBNS Radio on YouTube. You can watch it live or later if you missed any part of it. You can also download the Buckeye Roundtable podcast wherever you find your favorite podcasts, and be sure to hit subscribe on both. Fans, you can win a catered party for up to 20 people at your home for an away game this season, plus a behind-the-scenes tour of Ohio Stadium for 10. The Giant Eagle Tailgates and Tour Sweepstakes is presented by Pop-Tarts, Rice Krispie Treats, and Coca-Cola. Register today at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/tailgates for your chance to win. Saturday, Ohio State will host Ohio. We'll be on the air with the AEP Energy Buckeye pregame show beginning at 5:30 p.m. Up next, our 60-second timeout as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey, Ohio State fans! Next time that snack craving hits, Burger King has you covered with the O-Fry-O bundle. You get a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, and an 8-piece chicken nuggets, all for just $10. It's perfect snack fuel for one, wherever and whenever you're cheering on the scarlet and gray. At BK, have it your way. You rule. Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Tax extra.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, 2-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day, means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes.
Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you.
Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
For over 37 years, Buckeye Nation has known Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse for serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks are a staple in Columbus, with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. And just like the Buckeyes, we strive for excellence and an experience like no other. Hyde Park is proud to introduce the newly added wine room at our downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining surrounds you, creating the ideal setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show, presented by Burger King, where you rule. With Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper, I'm Skip Mossick. Buckeyes are known for paying it forward. That's why Buckeyes Care strives to serve the betterment of our community by positively impacting families across Ohio. Join partners American Electric Power, Donato's, Kroger, the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the James Cancer Hospital, Huntington Bank, and WBNS TV in Columbus in supporting this cause at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/BuckeyesCare.
Buckeye Roundtable. 60-second timeout.
Lots to squeeze in this segment. Paul, we'll start with you. Julian Sayin, 18 of 19, 306, 4 touchdowns. He did have the 1 pick. What did you like the most from what you saw from Sayin on Saturday?
Just how he continued, Skip, to look so comfortable out there, spreading the ball around to people, not getting flushed or panicked. Now, great protection and probably not the kind of pressure he's going to see later in the year, but just the comfort factor is the biggest thing.
Coach Coop, what do you think of the quarterback?
No, I agree. I thought he threw. We all know he can throw the football. I thought he made some great throws, particularly they found the tight end right down the middle for the first touchdown, and they had, I don't know why they would ever think they can play man-to-man coverage against the best wide receiver in college football. I mean, the first time we throw him, it was, 5 or 6 yards behind the guy? Mm-hmm. Put it right on the money. He throws a good ball to catch. That ball's not complete unless he throws it, our guy catches it. But I think he does a great job throwing the football. I think he was much better this week than he was the first game.
I thought he was poised in the pocket. And, again, you can see that they ask him to do a little bit more. Playing up tempo. That's a lot of communication, getting guys lined up when you're not huddling there. And, totally different mentality going against Texas. They wanted to kind of shorten that game, so to speak. Spend a lot of time in that huddle. They had the ball for 32 minutes in that game. Here they're just letting it fly. I mean, they want to go out there and get as many plays as possible and take it down the field and play fast. And I think that's ultimately what, we've seen out of Ryan Day in his 7 years here at Ohio State. That's what he likes to do. He likes to have those, coordinators call the game fast. So just to see the whole process, a new coordinator, quarterback coach, quarterback getting the information to the player, Julian on the field, handling all that, the way he was able to move that offense down the field. And then, like we talked about, his arm. Mm-hmm. His arm is very accurate. You saw that 16 straight. That's a new school record.
All right, next, Jeremiah Smith, 5 catches, 119, 2 touchdowns. Coach Coop, you alluded to it last segment. How important was it to get Jeremiah Smith back into the mix a little bit more?
I think I said last week, I look out there, I don't care how many people are out there covering him, I'm going to throw him the football. And they only had one guy. I don't think I ever saw him double him during the game. Of course, we got 2 other wide receivers in that same on the field with him at the same time. So you cover him, somebody else is going to catch the ball. But there's no way in the world that one guy is going to cover Smith. I don't care who we're playing.
Now only a sophomore has 17 career touchdowns. That ties him with Terry Glenn. 16th all time, and got to think that record's going to be his after 3 years. He's only less than halfway through his college experience and is already, moving up those record charts. But just a big playability. You knew when he caught that pass that no one was going to catch him. He turned it up the sidelines, got into the north end zone, and with ease. Just continues to make plays. Probably the shortest one was a little bit of screen outside where he caught it for maybe 5 yards. But every one of them, when you have 5 catches for 119. Yeah. They're all pretty good, but 87 on 1, that's going to skew those numbers a little bit.
All right, up next. Paul, we'll go to you with this. Ohio State's running backs. Bo Jackson was the leading rusher, but again, Peoples and Donaldson only saw limited action. You look at the average yards per carry, though, and you like what you see. 7.4 for Peoples, 9 for Donaldson. Where did you like as far as what Ohio State did with the ground game on Saturday?
Well, that they used a lot of guys, number one, Skip. Also, the way the line opened up for them. And what we're seeing in 2 games and 2 different type of opponents is just straight back and forth running. Not a lot of right and left. It's all north and south. Yeah. And that's the thing that, especially late in the year is going to be crucial.
Yeah, they went from a 2.4 average the week before against Texas to 7.2 as a team. And, Bo Jackson averaged 12 yards per carry. Well, simple math says keep feeding that guy the ball because if you're getting 12 yards as a carry, you don't have to worry about throwing the football. You just run it all the way down the field. But I thought all those guys had their moments, so they all stepped up. It was good to see the depth. All those guys get a chance to play. Those freshmen, go out there and make plays, and they all look pretty good.
I agree with you 100%. James Peoples looked good to me. Yep. That's one I don't think he even touched the ball in the first game, but in this game he shows how good he's going to be. He's from San Antonio, Texas, guys. We've done a good job recruiting Texas.
7 guys from the state of Texas.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Up next, we talked defense last segment. Bottom line is that there appears to be a lot of depth at a lot of positions. Who impressed you the most on that depth chart on the defensive side of the ball? Paul, we'll start with you.
Interesting. Man. That's tough to pick one, Skip, because everybody kind of seemed to be swarming all over the place. Maybe, I guess, by default, just continue to say Arvell Reese just because he seems to be all over the darn place.
I liked how Peyton Pierce, Sonny and Arvell, played a half, but I thought Peyton came in, was a leading tackler with a 6. I thought Aaron Scott flashed. He showed that he can drive on the football and, almost came up with an interception there. Then on the defensive line, how about Zion Grady? The freshman got his first opportunity to get on the field and came up with a big play, came up with a sack.
Coach Cooper, anybody? I mean, everybody that was out there on that defense seemed to play well. I mean, second, third, fourth teamers.
Well, again, we talk about it. We got a lot of coaches out there now. We used to have 8. Now I think we got about 20 or 25 or so. And they're getting, Jim, you know this as well as I do, they're getting coached during the field. Nobody's standing around in practice. So all those guys, we call second teamers, third teamers, are getting some work, and it's showing off in the game. Those 2 linebackers we got, they're as good as I've seen on a college football team in a long time.
All right, so we always do this at the end of this segment. Rate the opponents. How do you think Grambling State will do this season, specifically in the SWAC?
Hard to tell, not having seen any other teams at the SWAC, but, I thought T-Set showed the ability to make some things happen with his feet. He didn't seem to get flustered too much out there. And Coach Day mentioned it after the game. He was impressed with how hard Grambling played the whole day. So hard to say because don't know that we're going to see somebody. We won't get a chance in person to see somebody at that level in the SWAC.
Yeah, I think Kentucky State's much different than who they play this week than Ohio State. So, they're going to get back into the SWAC and get a chance to dominate their opponents. But I thought Andre Cruz, the running back, he was a guy that stepped up. He broke one for – one rush for 19, just ended up with 38 for the game, so he got half of it on one carry. But I thought he showed some flashes. I agree with you about T-Set. I thought he handled pressure pretty well and, has ability to tuck and run. Wide receiver, that Phillips, Tony Phillips, number 6. I thought he was a guy that was, quick. I mean, he's 5'7", 150 pounds, so you got to be quick if you're playing football at that size. But I thought he showed some quickness out there.
They won their first game, didn't they?
Yeah,
Last
they
week?
did, 55-7.
Yeah, absolutely. They'll come back. They'll win some games.
Speaking of winning some games, there were some one-sided ones around the Big Ten. We will break that down for you next as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Ready? It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right. Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles. From biking to bench presses, Milk's protein helps you build lean muscle and gain more from your workouts.
Ready? Recover. Repeat. Brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
True North convenience stores are your coffee and fountain champions. Fuel up your game day with True Rewards. Buy 6 True Brew coffees or True Oasis fountain drinks and get your 7th free. Whether you're heading to a game or watching from home, grab a True Brew coffee or an ice-cold True Oasis fountain drink to keep you going all 4 quarters. Find True Rewards in your app store or visit TrueNorthStores.com to get started. True North convenience stores. Fast, friendly, clean. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeye fans, this is for you. Level up with the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. You'll receive all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Ohio State sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off select gear at the Ohio State team shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeyes MVP membership for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our lower prices. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule, along with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mossick. Buckeye fans, power up and carbon down with AEP Energy and Eco Advantage, their 100% renewable energy plan for your home or business. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
It's time for the Buckeye Roundtable Big Ten Breakdown.
Moves to the right of Mateer. There's the snap. Mateer runs it himself, bounced it to the right. He's got room. He's to the 5. He's into the end zone. Easy like Sunday morning. John Mateer, untouched from 10 yards out. Touchdown.
Toby Rowland on Learfield. Oklahoma tried to give Michigan some chances Saturday night, but OU beats Michigan 24-13.
You know, and if it weren't for Justice Haynes tearing off a long touchdown run for Michigan, that's more lopsided than it was. But, you know, Mateer showing why he was the big prize in the transfer portal as far as quarterbacks.
Yeah, big run, 75 yards there to start the third quarter. He had 19 carries for 125, so the other 18 were just for 50 yards. But, you know, I think it shows that he can make some big plays. That's 3 now carries. He has 50-plus yards. He had 2 against New Mexico State. I thought their offensive line pass blocking for Underwood wasn't what it needs to be. Right. And usually when you kind of win that turnover battle, you won. But, you know, right now Oklahoma's, I think, -4 in turnovers, yet they're 2-0. But, you know, Mateer is a difference maker there at quarterback. He's been a good transfer from Washington State.
Oklahoma, a good coach.
I agree. He's the best quarterback, and I watched a lot of football over the weekend. The Oklahoma quarterback is the best quarterback that I saw. He can run the ball, guys, and throw the ball. And now your quarterback, in my opinion, has got to be a good enough runner that the defense has got to account for him. And if you start doubling those wideouts like we're all talking about, we think people have to do against us, that opens it up for the quarterback to run the ball.
To Eugene, where Oregon hosted Oklahoma State.
Whittington to the backfield. Snap, back to throw. Rolling to his left, sets up, going deep, and he's got him. Ja'Cory Moore with a catch. Inside on his feet at the 15. Are you kidding me? Touchdown! 3 plays in the game for Oregon's offense. 2 of them touchdowns.
Jerry Allen on Learfield. Talk about a statement. Oregon blows out Oklahoma State 69-3.
You know, people are talking Dante Moore possibly as a Heisman favorite now, the Oregon quarterback. And this is a guy that had been at UCLA, sat last year behind Dylan Gabriel, and now has taken full advantage of the opportunity. And Oregon took advantage of the opportunity to pour gas on the fire with all of the buildup to this game.
Yeah. More to more, right? I mean, Dante to Corey and Moore, that was a big play there. You know, this was the worst loss that Mike Gundy suffered throughout his career. And, you know, he's been there for 20 years, so he's been there. He's the second most tenured coach in college football right now, but that was a dominating performance. They had 2 pick sixes the Ducks did in that game.
I think on consecutive passes, too.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, that's why you end up with 69 points.
It looks to me like Oregon's got the best team money can buy.
That's what Gundy said.
That's what Gundy said, yeah.
You beat Oregon State 69-3, guys. That is a good old-fashioned you-know-what.
Next stop, State College, where second-ranked Penn State hosted Florida International.
Lone setback. Here's Singleton. Hudson in motion toward us. Play action fake. Loads it up. Long and deep down the middle for Ross. He's there. He got grabbed. And he made the catch anyway. A spectacular play by Devontae Ross. Interfered on the play. He said, get out of my way. I'm going to make the play.
Steve Jones, Penn State Network. Lions not overly flashy, Paul. Just 10 points in the first half, but they shut out FIU 34-0.
You know, and the amazing thing, Skip, when you think about it, you lose Abdul Carter, and they're still playing defense at such a high level. So many guys that played a lot on that side of the ball last year. So it all's going to come down to how Drew Aller plays, and we know that, and we know the great running back tandem, but this team still seems to have a lot going well defensively.
Yeah, they had a slow start in that game, just up 10-0, but this week what they did instead of, against Nevada in their opener, they started finishing drives. They had 4 field goals in their opener. This time they got a few more touchdowns. Aller threw for 200 yards. They had enough to get it done against Florida International.
I think talent-wise, I don't think there's any question this will be the best team we play the rest of the year, talent-wise.
A big one coming up. They will host Oregon. Penn State will here in a couple of weeks.
That'll be huge.
That's going to be absolutely huge. Could Illinois continue to play as many expected as they should as they traveled to Duke?
And now Beatty is lined up in a wildcat. He takes off running 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown! How do you like that? Beatty took it and just took off around the end to the right side and scores the touchdown.
Brian Barnhart's on Learfield. Illinois pulls away from Duke. Nice win for them, Paul. 45-19.
They got 5 turnovers. So, all about the sizzle on the offense, but they took the ball away from the Blue Devils.
Hank Beatty's becoming a every week player. I mean, last week he had the big punt returns. This week he had 8 catches in that ball game for 128 yards. Altmaier is a heck of a quarterback, and we go to Champaign this year. That's going to be an interesting ball game.
That's a great win for him. This game was at Duke.
Yes, it was.
45-19 at Duke. That's a good victory.
Curious to see how they would perform going on the road like that. So a nice win for Illinois. Next to Ames, it's always a battle between Iowa and Iowa State. This one came down to the end.
It is 4th down and desperation. 4th and 16 for Iowa. From the 19, Gronowski drops. Here comes a rush again. Gronowski buys some time. Here comes the rush again. Gronowski fires deep downfield and incomplete. And Iowa State will take over the football and take a knee and win this game.
John Walters on Learfield. Cyclones beat the Hawkeyes 16-13.
Thought I heard that the game-winning field goal that the Cyclones kicked was the same exact distance of the game winner they had last year.
54 yards. Wow. Yeah, I mean, it was there are 2 good football teams there. The state of Iowa playing for pride there in Des Moines. Well, actually in Ames. But offensively for Iowa, they're still struggling. Yeah. I mean, Gronowski has had 127 yards in 2 games throwing the football, and they lost their starting tight end, Addison Ostrenga. Lost him to a torn Achilles, so he'll be done for the year.
We talk about, Jim, that good field goal kicker is going to win or lose you about 2 or 3 games a year. We saw it on TV last night. We saw it all weekend. It's amazing.
To Madison, where Wisconsin hosted Middle Tennessee.
1st and 10. O'Neal looking, lost it out right side. Caught by Jaden Ballard. He's going. Down the sideline he goes. 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Wisconsin. Welcome to Badger Nation, Jaden Ballard.
Matt LePay on Learfield. Good for Jaden Ballard. Massillon native there. Wisconsin beats Middle Tennessee 42-10.
And that's with backup quarterback Danny O'Neal, because Edwards got hurt last week. So it'll be interesting to see moving forward how the health is there. But, we know what apparently Coach Fickle's trying to do is get him back to Badger ball, running the ball.
O'Neal, he might be the starter after that performance. I mean, 283 yards, 3 TDs in that game, and this would be a big week for the Badgers. I believe they play Alabama.
I agree, though. I think they got to go back to the old-fashioned Wisconsin football. Run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. It's the best defense you can play.
Yes.
Final stop, Piscataway, where Rutgers hosted Miami, Ohio.
Ethan in the shotgun barks out the direction. 4-man rush. Fires left. Caught Ian Strong. Cutting up the middle and right down the seam for the Rutgers touchdown. Touchdown number 2 of the day for Ian Strong, and the Scarlet Knights extend their lead. He had to reach back to catch that one, 17 yards.
Chris Carlin on Learfield. Rutgers now in first place in the MAC. They beat Miami, Ohio, 45-17.
And Ethan Kaliak-Manis, he's a 3-year starter to him at Rutgers, 1 in Minnesota. An experienced quarterback. He threw 4 touchdown passes in that game. And you remember a few years ago, Rutgers, when they had Johnny Langan and these guys kind of gimmicking at the quarterback spot, they're majoring in the downfield pass now.
Yeah, and he also ran the ball 12 times. Now, the yards weren't very good, but he's still, he can be a threat taking it. But, yeah, as Skip said, Rutgers beating up on the MAC opponents. They had a tough one there against Ohio. They ended up winning that by 3, and now they beat up on the Red Hawks in a good fashion.
Miami and Ohio, the two best teams in the league?
It's tough. Toledo, I think, is pretty good.
BG might be better.
Yeah, BG's decent. They lost at UC on Saturday, but we'll see. Elsewhere, quickly around the Big Ten, fellas, Purdue improves to 2-0. They beat Southern Illinois 34-17. Michigan State in overtime beats Boston College 42-40. Washington puts up 70 on UC Davis to win 70-10.
And Michigan State wins that game in overtime. And remember, Aiden Childs, the young quarterback who came with the coach from Oregon State, and he showed last year some flashes but also inconsistency. Seems like he smoothed some things out. And, Purdue doing what they should do, trying to get right against some of those teams. The crazy one is UCLA.
I know.
That's crazy.
I'm really impressed with Childs. We saw him last year. I saw him when they played against the Hawkeyes. We were off that week, so I went to see that game up in Lansing. I got to go to Lansing twice last year. I crossed that off my bucket list.
Lucky for you.
But, they got some players. That the wide receiver, Nick, I can't think of his last name.
I know who you're talking about. Young guy.
Yeah, sophomore. But he's a guy that can step up and get it done, and he's made some nice plays throughout his career, and he's only getting better. He's just a sophomore. So he'll be a guy that you got to worry about. Nick Marsh.
Do have a couple of conference games this week. Oregon is at Northwestern. That's a nooner, so 11 a.m. Central Time.
At the little lacrosse field over there by the water.
That'll be interesting with that. Also, we'll talk about Purdue. They host USC this week. So
those California boys will love going to Lafayette.
Good chance to see.
Yeah.
Smell of money.
Paper plant.
Give Mr. Arbogast some recommendations there in West Lafayette, shall we?
USC's not going to bring a whole lot of fans with them.
I wouldn't think so.
Up next,
talking about bucket list.
We are scheduled to be joined by Ohio State coach Ryan Day. That's on the bucket list. That is next as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
This is Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hello, I'm Ross Bjork, Senior Vice President and Eugene Smith Wolf Foundation Endowed Athletics Director at The Ohio State University. In partnership with AEP, Donato's, Kroger, The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center, Huntington, and 10 TV, Ohio State Athletics strives to inspire the community to make a positive impact on children and families in our great state through the Buckeyes Care Initiative. Show and share your support in the community by using the hashtag #BuckeyesCare.
Hey, Ohio State fans, are you looking to score big with your home equity? Union Home Mortgage will help you unlock the value of your home and fund the promises you've made to yourself and your family. If you need to pay off debt, have home improvements, or whatever your family needs are, visit UHM.com and score financial freedom with Union Home Mortgage, the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Union Home Mortgage Corp. is an equal housing opportunity lender and MLS number 2229.
When it comes to your cancer diagnosis, the choice for your care is clear.
And when you choose the James at Ohio State,
you're opting for care from a highly specialized team dedicated to treating one type of cancer, yours.
A team that studies the unique makeup of your disease to develop a personalized treatment plan.
You're choosing our region's only comprehensive cancer center designated by the National Cancer Institute.
For your cancer care, the choice is clear. The James at Ohio State.
The great thing about Atlas Butler is they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing. Look, I'm busy with work. I don't have time to wait around or deal with lots of people. One company, one call, and they do it all. Wonder if they'll clean out my inbox. Seriously, offer that service. Please.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Toyota gives you the power of choice. Now through September 30th, get 4.75 APR financing on a stylish new 25 Corolla or 5.75 on Corolla Hybrid. Excludes Corolla Cross and GR Corolla. Or lease a gas-powered 25 Corolla LE for $199 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Your Ohio State flagship station, The Fan. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mossick. Ohio State shuts out Grambling State on Saturday 70-0. They will host Ohio coming up this week, 7 o'clock kickoff from Ohio Stadium. Joined for a few minutes now by Ohio State coach Ryan Day. His comments are presented by Kroger. And, Coach, you said last week there was still tons to clean up after the win over Texas. What areas were you most pleased with that got cleaned up for your team on Saturday?
Offensively, I felt like we got up to a fast start. We were executing pretty sharp, right out of the gate. Thought we were more explosive, and certainly we take everything into consideration, but I do think, we came out with the right attitude. Certainly after a big win against Texas, there was no letdown in terms of effort. The defense created turnovers, which was a big emphasis point, and then we were able to get some guys in the game and hopefully build some depth.
Yeah, some of my keys last week are start fast, create turnovers, and crank up the rushing attack, and you checked all three of those off. 4 touchdowns and 4 possessions. We're knocking on the door for your 5th one there. You created turnovers like we talked about, especially to start the third quarter. That thing happened so fast, it caught us off guard. And then that rushing attack was able to get cranked up. You mixed it up well. You wanted to go up tempo. What was the reasoning behind that? Taking the ball and saying, "Hey, we're gonna run no huddle."
Well, quite honestly, we wanted the game to kind of go the way it did in the first half. Come out and execute cleanly and have a bunch of plays because if the game started to get a little sideways, we knew we were going to try to get some of our guys who hadn't played in the game. So we wanted to make sure we were getting enough plays in the first half. That was the idea. But also to take a look at tempo to see how our guys can handle it, because we know it could be a tool. And when you have the ability to dictate the tempo of the game, that's certainly our advantage.
When you get a game like that, Coach, where you get a lot of people in, do you see a payoff with practice following, guys getting excited now that they've had a chance to really face some live action?
That's usually what happens. Guys are excited about getting in the game. Their family saw them play. They kind of got on the field and got some feedback on how they did. So usually you see a really good bounce in their step. It's good for the whole team.
Coach, you got a couple really good young players out of Texas. I saw that. Riley Pettijohn, I didn't know much about him, but I thought he played pretty well. And James Peoples, both those guys I thought played well for you.
Yeah. It's good to get some of these guys out there and get some reps. Good to get James some carries, and then Riley, actually was our defensive player of the game, because they had such an impact. He was playing downhill and physical, and we think he has a chance to really be a good player for us. And we expect him to be on all special teams and play for us, on defense this season.
Caleb Downs continues to impress, and you had him there mugging the left guard the left guard. He's up into the line of scrimmage, drops back 2 or 3 steps, and just snags the ball in the air. That's hard to do. You got to be a special type athlete to be able to pull that off. Yet he makes the hard look easy.
Yeah, and he's just really smart player, has great football IQ, puts a lot of work in, and he knew exactly what the play was when we got off the field. He told me it was triple slant, and I came up and hypnotized the offensive lineman and then popped out the window, and he could verbalize everything that he was looking to do. And it just, he's beyond his years. Just a really mature young man and a leader for us.
When you look at that first touchdown to Will Kazmarek, does that display the kind of duplicity you want to see the tight end show, Coach?
Yeah, and then the vertical threat, the explosiveness. These guys are going to be a weapon for us this year, and when we can get these guys involved in the run game like we did, but now pose a vertical threat, to the Mike linebacker like he did in that play, and then Julian's delivering the ball on time. That's when you're explosive. We want to obviously establish the run, but then stretch the field horizontally and vertically. And the vertical package is something that we spent some time on last week, and you saw it, and hopefully this can be a weapon for us.
Coach, it's good to get the other quarterbacks in that second half there too. I thought Lincoln and Tavin both looked like they played pretty good.
Yeah. Lincoln graded out really well. Tavian just starting to get his feet in the ground a little bit. It's good to get him his first action in the shoe. But Lincoln, no, I thought Lincoln had good poise. He's been practicing better. Had a good week of practice last week. Threw some good balls, and you could see his athleticism. We tried to get him a couple runs there in the game. You saw one short yardage run, and then one where he pulled it around the end. So he brings the athleticism to the table for us, which is good. But no, I thought he handled himself like a pro, and that's going to be important because we're going to need him.
Julian saying, set the record, 16 straight completions to start the ball game. Very, very impressive. But I'm sure you had some advice for him on that one interception that he had right down there at the goal line.
Yeah, that's what we were laughing about. I said, only at Ohio State can you have one incompletion, and that's all we're going to talk about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, especially when it's an interception. But, no, I think he played really well. I thought the ball came out on time. He threw some really accurate throws. His feet were moving quickly right from the jump, which was all really positive. Certainly a learning lesson down there in the red area. But he learns quickly. And that's a good sign for a young quarterback.
We know that it's all about your team's progression, but do you have some thoughts early on about the Ohio Bobcats this week, Coach?
Well, I don't think it's going to be hard for us to motivate our team after, they played, Rutgers very, very well and went all the way to the fourth quarter and then turn around and beat West Virginia this past week. They had beaten Iowa State a couple years ago. I mean, it's a proud program, and they're well coached and have good players, and they're from Ohio. So coming into the shoe, we're going to get their best shot, and we need to have a great week of practice. But all that being said, it's our job to make sure that we focus on our training. I say it all the time, regardless of the opponent, it's about us, and so. That's what we're going to focus on.
Ohio State coach Ryan Day. Coach, we always appreciate your time. We'll see you for your radio show on Thursday, okay?
All right, guys. Have a good night. Thanks.
Coach's comments presented by Kroger. Kroger Pickup is the easy way to get what you want right when you need it. Try Kroger Pickup today in the Kroger app or at Kroger.com. And again, he said it right there. And Coach Cooper, you remember this from back in the day. In-state schools, you're going to get their best shot because a lot of these guys would rather be playing here.
Got a lot of respect for those guys. I'd say at least 90% of those guys wish they were playing here at Ohio State. They're well coached. They're going to play hard. We had real trouble here with Miami here one year when I coached. Miami had a pretty good quarterback, but I think we scored real late to win that football game.
Mm-hmm. We remember. Coach Cooper, how was the ringing the victory bell experience like for you?
Fantastic. That's fantastic. That's one of the most exciting things I've had happen to me since I coached here. Those guys did a good job coaching me, teaching me how to do it. And, I think we need to give Ross a little credit, our athletic director. He's getting the fans more involved in the game. He used to ring that victory bell when the game was over, right? Let's fire it up, get them going before the game starts. And great crowd again Saturday. And anyway, play it. Swinging that rope down, you got to keep after it. I'm telling you that right now. But I really enjoyed it. I think it was great.
I was teasing Coach earlier this morning. I was like, so all the years you've been here, have you ever been in that room as far as that tower over there? And you said what?
I didn't even know it existed, to be honest with you. No.
You heard the bells, you just never saw them.
I heard the bells, yeah.
I mean,
plenty of times.
We're so old, Jim. I remember taking classes over there, classrooms over that part of the stadium.
Yeah, I took Earl Bruce's coaching philosophy class over there, and that was an experiment. Of course, you had to be 10 minutes early. If you weren't 10 minutes early, you were late.
That's right.
I remember taking some folks up there on a tour. and went into the bell tower, and the guy that was doing the tour, he pointed out to this small group, said, there's never been a woman that's rung this bell, and this one woman grabbed the rope and started ringing it.
Well, there you go. No one's going to stop her. Just do it. Absolutely.
It's a male fraternity, right?
Yeah, not anymore.
Up next, we'll be joined inside the red zone by longtime Ohio State reporter Tim May. That is next as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at SafeLight.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Experience Buckeye game day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
American Electric Power is a proud sponsor of Buckeyes Care.
Hi, I'm Janelle Coleman with American Electric Power. AEP comes together with our communities to create a better future every day. Whether we serve, build, or simply share with others, we make Central Ohio brighter for our neighbors. Our collaboration with Buckeyes Care is another way we work to make the future boundless for all.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show, presented by Burger King, where you rule. With Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper, I'm Skip Mossick. For every Buckeye touchdown scored this season, the Heartland Bank Community Foundation will make a donation to the USO of Central and Southern Ohio, benefiting our active duty military personnel and their families. For more information or to support our troops, go to usocso.org and be the force behind the forces.
Buckeye Roundtable Red Zone.
Joined inside the red zone, longtime Ohio State reporter Tim May. And Tim, wanted to get your thoughts on Julian Sayen's performance on Saturday. I mean, I know he had the pick, but besides that, what did he show you on Saturday that might excite fans moving forward?
His accuracy, his pinpoint accuracy. Even on the pick, he was pinpoint. He just kind of telegraphed where he was going with it. But just, we've been saying all along, he has that. I call it that fast pistol release from his ear, and it's the ball's out fast and it's going to where it's supposed to be going. At least so far. I mean, even against Texas, he showed that. So he just kind of like reinforced what you saw from him from Texas, except they took some of the governor off the engine there and let him throw around the field a little bit more. But there's more to come from him for sure.
4 tight ends caught passes, 2 of them scored touchdowns, and we saw the 14 personnel inside the goal line again. And, they rushed it in one, and then, Jelani got that touchdown. When they switched things up a little bit, they went with a play action after, okay, we know what they're going to do now. They got Nate Roberts for fullback. They're going to run the ball, and boop, nope, right on by him. That's been a impressive package for Ohio State so far this year, using all those tight ends.
Yeah, you always wonder, from year to year, what's going to be different. What's going to be different about with Brian Hartline being the offensive coordinator? What's going to be different with Matt Patricia? In the first 2 games, you've seen a lot of the differences, especially as you pointed out. Maybe they've gone to 4 tight ends before, and I wasn't paying attention. You know what I mean, Jim?
They had a heavy lineman in there sometimes, but not.
Well, yeah,
on the tight end.
Yeah, the 14. I call it, they call it the 14 package. I call it the 23 package because when you line a guy up at fullback, he's a running back. No matter what, matter what he has next to his name. But the 14 package, and they, and five tight ends played. I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I'm talking about in crunch time against Texas, they had 5 different tight ends played at one point in that game, and that's quite impressive. When Ryan Day said this deepest tight end room he's had at Ohio State, and maybe they've had there in a while, you have to believe him. But the way they're employing them, because we all know Jelani Thurman's a matchup nightmare down in the red zone, and they finally get a ball to him in the back of the end zone, and just shows you where they can go with that package.
They were playing that cover 2, and you're exactly right about saying they play cover 2. They leave the tight end open right down the middle. An easy throw, and he put a little touch on that ball for the touchdown. And then you look out there the next series, and we got Smith. They're trying to play Smith man coverage without blitzing the quarterback. And again, he put the ball right on his hands in the move, and easy touchdown.
Yeah, what they need to play is cover 4, as in cover Jeremiah Smith.
You got that right. I can't imagine anybody play it. We're going to play the rest of the year. They won't double him every snap.
Well, they may double him, but this, man. You just like Texas back in the Cotton Bowl, they were leaning. Teams started running that what I call lean-to coverage, which is lean 2-4, you know what I mean? One of the safeties and stuff. And they started doing that last year at the end of the year. But, it's just amazing to me. The best receiver in college football just gets wide open because I thought you had him coverage, that's what we saw a few times on Saturday. And you're going to see it again because the other threats, Coach Cooper, you pointed this out, when we talked about the tight ends, but the other receivers on the field, man, it's, how do you leave those guys and take them for granted? You can't do that, and I think that's going to get more and more the case as the year goes on.
Tim May, we always appreciate your insight. We'll look forward to chatting with you again coming up next Monday night. Okay.
Or I guess Ryan, they talked too long. I didn't get as much time this time.
You had time. You used every second.
Tell Coach Cooper, next time he rings that bell, let go of that rope, man. That thing can take you places. See you, fellas.
All good. That rope, you told us, Coach. That was pulling that thing. It's a lot different than you see people trying to do that kind of stuff.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
All kinds of great stuff. Hour number 2 of Buckeye Roundtable coming up right around the corner. Were you guys surprised at the amount of 70-plus points performances that we saw on Saturday?
Yes. I don't know if we should have been, but yes.
Mm-hmm. Is that a result of haves and have-nots, or is it just schedules just don't align and you have no choice but to have mismatches?
Yes and yes. I think the first part is probably more, but they have and have-nots.
Yeah, usually the defense a little bit better early on, but these offenses have been stepping up and making plays. And, look at Oregon. They were one behind at 69, so they were knocking on that door. And that was good, a Power 4 team. So there's, ability to do that. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, usually you want to play one of those bad teams early in the year, the first game of the year, not Texas. You don't want to play Texas the first game of the year.
I mean, Nebraska put up a whole bunch.
Yeah, shut out Akron. It's kind of hard to figure the reasoning why, but I think you're seeing now with the portal so many guys that are playing well at, let's say, the SWAC level, like Grambling. If they're good enough to get an opportunity to go someplace else, they're going.
Yeah. And just think that, with Coach Trussell, I mean, we'd get 30 points. That was a good day. Now Ryan Day has, 45 times he's had 40-plus points in his 82 games as a head coach. That's getting it done offensively.
Defense pretty good, too. 7 points in 2 games total. That's a pretty good average, 3.5, no doubt. Up next, our Encova Insurance Archie Griffin High School Player of the Week Award, our American Dairy Association Mideast Top High School Performances, and our weekly whip around the state. We'll hit the sidelines. Tyler Danberg with Ohio State receiver Jeremiah Smith. We'll see if Tyler can guard him one-on-one. Our Insiders Access tonight, Austin Ward from Letterman Row. All that and more, hour number 2 of Buckeye Roundtable here on the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
James Peoples here, running back for the Ohio State Buckeyes. You have to check out the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. Get all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Buckeye sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off select gear at the Ohio State Team Shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeyes MVP membership for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
For over 37 years, Buckeye Nation has known Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse for serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks are a staple in Columbus, with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. And just like the Buckeyes, we strive for excellence and an experience like no other. Hyde Park is proud to introduce the newly added wine room at our downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining surrounds you, creating the ideal setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams, the agile, get it done teams, the achieve more together teams, and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Learn more about Ohio State at osu.edu/impact.
Nobody has more all-wheel drive or electrified hybrid choices than Toyota, including the best-selling Camry. It's all hybrid all the time with available all-wheel drive. Now through September 30th, get 4.75 APR financing on any new 25 Camry or lease a Camry LE from just $279 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS, tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium, presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium Tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus, The Fan.
Good evening, I'm Jacob Reimer. The Big Ten announced today that Ohio State quarterback Julian Sayin has been named Freshman of the Week after completing 18 of his 19 passes for 306 yards and throwing 4 touchdowns in the Buckeyes' 70-0 win over Grambling on Saturday. They'll welcome in Ohio University this coming Saturday in a primetime kickoff with the reigning MAC champions. In the NFL tonight, the Minnesota Vikings visit the Chicago Bears. Kickoff of the NFC North matchup is at 8:15. You can find coverage right here on The Fan following Buckeye Roundtable at 8 o'clock. In baseball, the Cleveland Guardians are currently underway at home against the Kansas City Royals. They enter tonight's game 2.5 games back of an American League wildcard spot. As for the Reds, they sit 4 games behind in the National League race and start a 9-game road trip tonight in San Diego. First pitch is at 9:40. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
When you're here, you understand what it means to be a Buckeye. And at Elk & Elk, we're proud to wear scarlet and gray every Saturday. Every client, every day, means if you're ever injured, we're proud to stand with you in court. And when you're here at the shoe, we're proud to stand with you and cheer on the Buckeyes. Whether we're here at the big game or in court, we are committed to you. Elk & Elk, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix, guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. And you never compromise your appetite with our golden brown bread that's baked fresh in store. And you never compromise your wallet with our lower prices. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. Fresh for everyone.
Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King, is on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
And welcome back, everybody, into this week's Buckeye Roundtable show with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper in with us tonight. I'm Skip Mossick. Saturday, it's Ohio State and Ohio. More on that coming up, but right now it is time to talk some high school football.
It's time for the Encova Insurance High School Player Award on Buckeye Roundtable.
One of the highlights of the Buckeye Roundtable show is the presentation of the Encova Insurance Archie Griffin Athlete of the Week Award. During each roundtable show, Encova Insurance and the Ohio State Sports Network honors a high school athlete for their outstanding play and team leadership. And tonight's recipient is senior quarterback Donovan Moorhead from Gates Mills Hawken. Friday night, Moorhead was 31 of 34 passing, 320 yards, 4 touchdowns in Hawkins' 42-13 win over their arch rival Gilmore Academy. We understand 2 of those 3 incompletions were throwaways, so quite a night. The Hawks are coached by Mark Amarino. They're 3-0 and will host 3-0 Geneva on Friday night. Again, congratulations to Donovan Moorhead from Gates Mills Hawkins, the recipient of this week's Encova Insurance Archie Griffin High School Athlete of the Week Award. Encova Insurance, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Time now for Buckeye Roundtable's American Dairy Association Mideast top performers and our whip around the state.
And if that kid's name sounds familiar, he's the son of Akron coach Joe Moorhead. So that was not the only top performance, though, from around the state this weekend.
No, sir, Skip. Running back D'Angelo Birch from Mason High School had 28 carries for 214 yards and 4 touchdowns in Mason's 40-35 win over Lakota East.
Steubenville Catholic Central quarterback and defensive back Matthew Spracci ran for 168 yards and had more than 50 passing on offense, while intercepting 3 passes, 2 for pick sixes on defense in Catholic Central's 52-45 win over Zanesville Rosecrans.
I got another running back, Pickerton North running back, Andre Thomas. 26 carries, guys, for 224 yards and a pair of touchdowns, and Pick North 17-3 win over Pick Central.
Amherst Steel quarterback Cy Christensen was perfect, 9 of 9 passing for 256 yards and 3 touchdowns in Steel's 34-0 win at North Olmsted.
How about Oxford Talawanda running back Lance Cantrell? 313 yards running, 4 touchdowns, leading the Braves over Eaton, 45-20.
Olentangy Orange quarterback Levi Davis ran 13 times for 92 yards and 3 touchdowns. Guys, he was also 15 out of 22 passing for 202 yards and another scores. Orange defeated Olentangy 42-14.
All right, Richmond Edison running back Brett Hellier had 13 carries for 106 yards and a pair of touchdowns, leading Edison past Southern Local 41-8.
St. Edward quarterback Johnny Ivanchek, 13 for 14 passing, 236 yards, 3 TDs, added another 71 yards on the ground and another score in St. Ed's 63-27 win over Huber Heights Wayne.
Dublin Jerome running back Joey Slates, 22 carries for 166 yards, including 64 yards for a touchdown, as Jerome knocked off Dublin Kaufman 24-7.
Kirkland running back Ty Bledsoe had 18 carries for 182 yards and 3 touchdowns, leading Kirkland past Perry 44-24.
Cincinnati Hills Christian Academy quarterback Griffin Radner, 19 for 25 passing, 264 yards, and 6 touchdowns in the Eagles' 48-6 win over Madera.
LaSalle quarterback Avir Carter was 9 of 16 passing for 126 yards, a pair of touchdowns. Guys, he added 97 yards on the ground and another score, leading LaSalle over Fairmont 24-23.
They needed all that.
No doubt. Time for our weekly whip around the state. We'll begin up in the Cleveland area, and WKNR's Kevin Arnold.
It was a night full of offensive highlights in Mayfield, Ohio on Friday night. The star that stood above the rest was Stephen Faycolt from Nordonia High School. The junior quarterback went 16 for 21 for 335 yards and 4 touchdowns to lead the way to a 59-46 win over Mayfield. Nordonia is off to a 3-0 start on the season with an offense averaging almost 47 points per game. Next week, the Knights head back on the road to face the Bees of Brecksville Broadview Heights. For WKNR in Cleveland, I'm Kevin Arnold.
Look out for those bees. Northwest Ohio, more big ground numbers. Here's WZOM's Dave Kleck.
In the northwest corner of the state, the Paulding Panthers are off to a roaring start at 3-0 and knocked off Delphus Jefferson 33-7, leading the way quarterback Colt Hunt, who threw for 347 yards and 4 touchdowns. His top target, Jordan Mans, who had 9 catches for 215 yards. The Paulding Panthers open up league play in the Green Meadows Conference coming up on Friday night. From WZOM Radio in Defiance, I'm Dave Kleck.
Down to Miami County, another team off to a fast start there in 2025. Here's WING's Justin Kinner.
The Tippecanoe Red Devils are off to a heck of a start over in the Miami Valley League. 3 games into the season, and they're undefeated while averaging 38 points per game. It's obvious they have weapons, and none better than Red Devils star wide receiver Will Strong, who finished with 171 yards on 9 catches and 4 touchdowns this past Friday night in the Red Devils' win over Fairborn. The Illinois State commit has pulled in 115 yards or more in every game thus far, and will look to keep it going this Friday night when the Red Devils take on Stebbins. For ESPN 1410 Wing AM, I'm Justin Kinner in Dayton.
Other end of the state, a very efficient night on the ground in Washington County. Here's WMOA's Andy Rex.
Guys, Fort Frye Junior running back Gavin Rao had just 8 carries on the night, but they went for 127 yards and 2 touchdowns as the Cadets blanked Wheeling Central Catholic 40-0 Friday night. Rao scored on runs of 38 and 9 yards as part of a Fort Frye rushing attack that went for a total of 424 yards. The Cadets are now 2-1 on the season and visit Cross River rival 3-0 Waterford this Friday night. From WMOA in Marietta, I'm Andy Rex.
Ground game numbers the theme tonight as we head to Muskingum County next, and WHIZ's David Kinder.
The Philo Electrics got back to what they do best in Week 3. That's running the football. Senior quarterback Jack Lincecum carried the ball 18 times for 243 yards, and he scored all 5 of Philo's touchdowns in a 38-21 road victory over the Maysville Panthers. The Electrics improved to 2-1 with the win, and they're home this Friday to play 0-3 Riverview. Reporting for WHIZ Radio in Zanesville, I'm David Kinder.
Couple of big nights in Knox County. To tell us more, here's WMVO's Tyler Mathias.
Centerburg senior quarterback Blaine Ball ran for 127 yards and 2 scores, and tossed for 177 yards and 3 touchdowns. And Centerburg's 53-14 win over Worthington Christian Friday night. Miles Marshall caught 2 of those touchdown passes, while also rushing for 76 yards and tallying 2 additional scores. Meanwhile, in Fredericktown's road win against Utica, senior quarterback quarterback Blake Sipes totaled 252 yards, including a 59-yard touchdown run and a 56-yard touchdown pass. Fredericktown and Cardington opening up KMAC play Friday. Centerburg plays at Northbourne. KMAC action. Reporting from WQIO and WMVO out of Mount Vernon, I'm Tyler Mathias.
All right, Tyler, final stop. Huge night in Logan County. Here's WPKO's Chad Wilkinson.
The Indian Lake Lakers offense was on fire Friday night against Allen East, racking up 50 points in their 50-20 victory. Junior quarterback Brady Galladay had 5 touchdowns, 3 through the air and 2 on the ground. Receiver Brody Reisinger had 7 catches for 98 yards and 2 scores, and running back Noah Shirk rushed for 2 scores. The 2-1 Lakers will host the London Red Raiders this week. From 98.3 WPKO in Bell Fountain, I'm Chad Wilkinson.
Thanks to all of our affiliates. Again, great whip around the state each and every Monday night. Home teams, Grandview, we know St. Henry, they were up for a tough one. We knew that.
Yeah, the Bobcats 3-0. St. Henry lost 21-14. Flyers 67 in a row. Incredible.
Marion local. Yep.
Yeah, the Redskins had 3 shots at the 6-inch line, I think in the second quarter, and came up short. Couldn't quite get it in. But, yeah, it was a heck of a game.
Yeah.
Enjoyed listening to Ron Brunswick and Gary Clooney on the call.
All right, Moeller.
Beat Louisville Trinity, so Bert Bathiani's team back in a win column.
Coach Cooper, have you made it to Upper Arlington yet?
I got to get over there this week.
They beat Reynoldsburg 50-0.
50-0.
Golden Bears are 3-0 now, so get out there. Hartley won 6-0 in overtime over Walnut Ridge.
What inning?
They were asking if Colin Behringer had any kicking eligibility left over there. They needed some, but they get the win 6-0. They will host Watkins Memorial coming up this week. Our top performers from around the state was presented by the American Dairy Association Mideast. A reminder from Ohio's dairy farmers, 8 ounces of delicious chocolate milk has 8 grams of protein with the power to fuel everyone, including Ohio State quarterback Tavian St. Clair. He's built like a Buckeye, and you can be too. Learn more at ohiostatebuckeyes.com/built like a Buckeye. Some wildness in the top 25 we'll discuss after further review as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
As the official hot dog of Ohio State athletics, Sugardale is dedicated to delicious. Whether you're cheering on the Buckeyes at the game or grilling at your home tailgate, you can count on Sugardale to score a touchdown. Made right here in Ohio for more than 100 years, Sugardale has always taken a personal approach to making great-tasting, high-quality meats. Look for Sugardale hot dogs, bacon, ham, and more at your local grocery store.
Ready?
It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right. Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles. From biking to bench presses, Milk's protein helps you build lean muscle and gain more from your workouts.
Ready? Recover. Repeat. Brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast, a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Come on over to Heartland and join our family.
Now, getting ahead in this world is not as complicated as it might seem. Having the early guidance and counsel of your community banker, one who knows you and your family's story, can make a great deal of difference. Relationships matter. Bank on community banking. I'm Scott McComb. Coming over to Heartland, where banking really feels good.
Where banking feels good. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
The great thing about Atlas Butler is they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing. Look, I'm busy with work. I don't have time to wait around or deal with lots of people. One company, one call, and they do it all. Wonder if they'll clean out my inbox. Seriously, offer that service. Please.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Experience Buckeye Game Day like never before. Welcome to the 1922 Club, the most exclusive space inside Ohio Stadium, where luxury meets tradition in the heart of Buckeye Nation. Enjoy upscale food and beverages and a game day atmosphere like no other. Create lasting memories with friends and mingling with other Buckeye fans, and celebrate every OHIO in ultimate comfort. Become a member of the 1922 Club today. Memberships are limited. Visit OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
Nobody has more all-wheel drive or electrified hybrid choices than Toyota. Now through September 30th, get 4.75 APR financing on a new 25 RAV4 or 5.75 on RAV4 Hybrid. Excludes plug-ins. Or lease a gas-powered RAV4 LE for $299 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
Buckeye football lives here. The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show presented by Burger King, where you rule, with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper. I'm Skip Mossick. Ohio State and Ohio Saturday night at Ohio Stadium. Kickoff at 7 p.m. Join Coach Ryan Day and experts from across Buckeye Nation to preview every matchup and break down each week's game. Game Time with Ryan Day, presented by Huntington Bank, airs Saturday mornings at 9 on 10 TV in Columbus and statewide on OhioStateBuckeyes.com.
Buckeye Roundtable.
Greatest play is under further review.
After further review.
3 seconds remaining. Florida 16, South Florida 15. Leon will put this ball down at the 10. So this is going to be a 20-yard field goal attempt. Gramatica is 2 for 3 today. He is 4 for 5 on the season. Snap, hold, kick. Good! The Bulls have beaten Florida on the last play of the game. South Florida 18, Florida 16. 2 top 25 teams down, 1 to go next week.
Jim Lauk, USF Radio. Bulls shock Florida 18-16.
Excuse me, Skip. Florida committed 11 penalties for over 100 yards in that game. And while Billy Napier had a nice little resurgence at the end of last season, it's getting a little warm in Gainesville.
He's 20-20 now throughout his career. So, yeah. But how about Alex Golish, the coordinator or the
Central
head
Ohio
coach?
guy.
Yeah, from Dublin, Ohio. He's been a coordinator at several different spots. Now he's got the head job and doing a fantastic job with the Bulls.
That kicker is going to win or lose you a couple games, 2 or 3 games a year. Absolutely.
They alluded to top 25 teams. It'd be Boise last week, obviously Florida this week, and this past Saturday, and they get Miami coming up this weekend. So we'll have to wait and see. Starkville next. Another good one that looked like it might be over as 12th-ranked Arizona State was looking good at the time at Mississippi State until this happened.
Traore, the tight end, in motion, slot right. Chapin throws
Touchdown.
right side. Thompson catches it inside the numbers 20. Angling left 10. 5. Touchdown, Brennan Thompson. Wow. Davis-Wade Stadium explodes as the Bulldogs go back in front.
Neil Price on Learfield. Mississippi State now 2-0. They beat Arizona State 24-10.
Not before they squandered a double-digit lead did they get that victory. They were very fortunate to come away with that.
Yeah, Kenny Dillingham, it was interesting to see his post-game comments on that. He was fired up after that game. Arizona State will be okay at the end.
You know, they looked.
I wonder
they were
why,
positioned. They were going to win.
Why would Arizona State go down to Mississippi and play that game?
That's a good question.
Give me a break.
Let's stay with Mississippi as Ole Miss headed to Kentucky.
There's the snap. Simmons again on a quarterback draw. Runs left, has the first down, plants his foot, runs into the end zone. Touchdown, Ole Miss.
David Kellum on Learfield. Ole Miss hangs on to beat Kentucky 30-23.
This was a game that Kentucky won last year that pretty much knocked Ole Miss out of consideration for the playoffs. And Kentucky also lost at least one of their quarterbacks got hurt in that game, too. So there was a little motivation for the Wildcats in this.
Yeah, Lacey was all over the field. Quan Lacey, 138 yards, had that touchdown there. Kentucky will play you tight, but they're just ended up on the wrong end here in a couple of these.
To Baton Rouge, would LSU have a Clemson hangover as they hosted in-state rival Louisiana Tech?
A sidecar to the right of Nussmeier, who gets the football out of the shotgun, looks right, looks back left. Now center of the field throws, and this time right on the S and LSU. Touchdown, Fighting Tigers. He finds Nick Anderson.
Chris Blair, LSU Radio, 23-7. LSU beats Louisiana Tech.
Might Nussmeier be the Heisman favorite after 2 weeks?
Maybe.
Brian Kelly said he's not happy with the performance, but, hey, it's a win. He'll take that, and that's about all you can say after that. They got some improvement to do, and, only putting up 23 points against Louisiana Tech, that's something that, they'll have to work on.
I still got LSU in my top 5.
We mentioned Clemson. Could they bounce back from the tough LSU loss as they hosted Troy?
And they'll go play action. They want to go long. He's wide open. Touchdown, Wesco. Tim, you called it.
Don Munson, Clemson Network. I know they dealt with a long weather delay, but Clemson was in a fight with Troy, Paul. They wound up winning 27-16.
They certainly were. And, that's a team that a lot of people thought could be a national championship contender. And it's all going to ride on Cade Klubnik. And he's a young man that's had some great success, but he's also run into some inconsistencies.
Yeah, they were, down 10-0 in that ball game. And then they had that delay. Obviously they came back and was able to pick it up there in that second part of that game. But, the schedule's going to get tougher for Clemson.
No doubt about it. Staying in the ACC, Florida State hosted East Texas A&M.
Take the hand up. Castellanos winds up, has a man wide open. It's Deuce. Caught. 40, 35, 30, 25, 20. Foot race. 10, 5. Caught. In there. Baby. Big play alert. House call. 82 yards out. Touchdown, Florida State. Touchdown, FSU.
Jeff Colhane, Florida State Network. I know you have to look at the opponent. Tell us all about East Texas A&M, Paul, but Florida State looks to be back in business. They get the win 77-3.
Well, and Tommy Castellanos backed up his performance against Alabama with another solid one.
Yeah, 77 points. We talked about how many, 70 point that they crushed through that barrier and took care of business. And, East Texas A&M is going to have some work to do. They're sitting there at 0-2, punted 7 times in that ball game.
Great high school football players down there in Florida, guys.
No doubt about it. Florida State, it's kind of curious to see what they would be like this year after such a disappointing season last year, Coach Cooper.
That's a tough place to go play.
Final stop is Salt Lake. Could Utah keep putting up big numbers as they hosted Cal Poly?
Diefenbach fires wide to the outside. It's picked! It's going to go to the house! Jackson Benny! The streak is alive! 22 straight years with a pick six for Utah! Benny with a house goal!
Do you think he knows who Jack Benny is?
I was thinking about Rochester and Don Wilson, too.
Bill Riley, Utah. You can tell we're old. Bill Riley, Utah Network. Utes roll Cal Poly 63-9.
And they've got a good young quarterback, and they finally have and this is the unfortunate part, Skip. Cam Rising was there for about 12 years, and because of injuries and all of that. But they kind of kept waiting for him to get healthy to play again and all that. Now that he's not there, I think they've been able to really get behind this young man and get him developed.
Utah held out 5 starters in that ball game, but still had enough to take care of Cal Poly. Yeah, they rested some guys up.
Coach Cooper, this week, some decent ones in the top 25. Georgia, Tennessee is going to be very interesting to see what happens in Knoxville. Texas A&M is at Notre Dame. And this one probably wasn't on anybody's cards a couple of weeks ago, but that South Florida game at Miami, and now all of a sudden it's a top 25 matchup.
Yeah, that'll be huge, especially, for Miami to really make people think that they're back where the Hurricanes people would like them to be.
I'm taking Miami, Notre Dame, and Georgia.
Interesting.
You're taking Georgia.
I'm taking Georgia over Tennessee. I think even though that game's in Knoxville, I believe it is.
It is in Knoxville, no doubt about it.
Yeah, the quarterback for Tennessee's, playing a lot better, but, Georgia's going to be a little bit too much. And, I'll take Notre Dame, too.
All right, coming up, we will hit the sidelines. Tyler Danborg will join us as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
This is Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at Safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite repair, Safelite replace.
Hey, Ohio State fans! Next time that snack craving hits, Burger King has you covered with the O-Fry-O bundle. You get a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, and an 8-piece chicken nuggets, all for just $10. It's perfect snack fuel for one, wherever and whenever you're cheering on the scarlet and gray. At BK, have it your way. You rule! Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Tax extra.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
The Donato's Pep Duo Pizza is back, and it brought a pal. The Donato's Pep Duo, loaded with crispy pepperoni and 3 kinds of cheese. Now get a large Pep Duo pizza for just $14.99. Also back, Donato's deliciously dippable pepperoni cheese bread. Now on the $5 Pizza Pals menu for a limited time. More toppings, more flavor, more fun. Donato's, gotta love more.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Go behind the scenes of one of the most recognizable landmarks in all of college athletics with a tour of Ohio Stadium presented by Experience Columbus. A seasoned redcoat will be your guide as you make your way through walls of the stadium, into the press box, and onto the field. Upgrade to the VIP package and get special access to the band center and the Ohio State home locker room. From corporate outings and school groups to single-person tours and small families, Ohio Stadium tours offer a variety of options and pricing. For more information, visit ohiostatebuckeyes.com and book your tour. Ohio Stadium Tours, presented by Experience Columbus.
The Fan. Ohio sports destination. You're listening to the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show, presented by Burger King, where you rule. With Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper, I'm Skip Mossick. Be sure to check out the Buckeye Game Day Concert Series presented by the Buckeye Cruise for Cancer before every home game this season outside of St. John Arena in Buckeye Fan Fest. Each week features a different artist on stage 2 hours before kickoff. Get on board and book your cruise today. Visit BuckeyeCruise.com. Go Buckeyes and beat cancer.
This is the Elk and Elk Report on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Jim Lachey, saw a lot of players that we'd expect on Saturday. Any overly impress you that maybe moved up a little bit on that 2-deep chart to maybe 3 or 4 deep on that thing?
I thought Bo Jackson was impressive. That 51-yard gain he had, finished with 108 yards. That's pretty impressive for a freshman player. So I think he's a guy that, they feel like maybe can go in there and be in that top 3 rotation with C.J. Donaldson and James Peoples. Again, we talked about him a little bit earlier, but Riley Petterjohn, he's a guy that is going to play on special teams, but they feel like he can be ready to go and he got some game action, and you can throw him in there and plug him in, and he can stand up and make some plays. Devin Sanchez has played a little bit. He's a guy that I think is going to have a great career here. And then we talked about him earlier, Zion Grady. We need some more depth at that defensive end position, so we got 4 guys that they feel good about right now, but you can never have enough defensive ends.
Our 2-deep report was presented by Elk and Elk. Serious fans of Ohio State athletics, call 1-800-ELK-OHIO. Go Buckeyes.
Time now for Buckeye Roundtables from the Sidelines Report on the Ohio State Sports Network.
I think everybody was happy to see Jeremiah Smith get his first big play of the season under his belt. Afterwards, Smith chatted with our Tyler Danberg.
Jeremiah, your 87-yard touchdown catch is the second longest in Ohio State school history. When you think about that, what comes to mind?
Just a blessing.
I mean, that's all I can say about that. Just a blessing. Me and Julian just connected on a 87-yard touchdown, so it's truly a blessing for sure.
What went into that route, and when did you know you had the touchdown?
I mean, when I blew by the two defenders, the corner and the safety, I was like, okay, this ball coming to me. Just catch the football and just score a touchdown. So that's all.
Jeremiah, how has your route running evolved over time? What have you done to improve that and build off that?
I feel like my route running got better than last year. Just listening to Coach Hartline and things he's telling me, different techniques and stuff like that. So, just listening to Coach Hartline and applying it on the field has been a blessing for sure.
Now, your second touchdown in the back right corner of the end zone, what did you see from the defense there?
What I seen was the corner just blitz, and I was just wide open, so I was just expecting the ball right then and there. But then, I just thought Julian was confused as well. So, but then he found me in the end zone and just caught the ball and scored a touchdown. So yeah.
So when you went back to the bench and saw Julian, what did you guys say to each other?
We was just laughing because we was confused on why they blitzed like that, and I was just wide open. So we all just laughed at it for sure.
How would you describe your relationship with Julian?
My relationship with Julian, that's my guy. That's my quarterback, QB1, so you got to have a strong relationship with him. That's what gave me the ball, so I got to have a good relationship with him.
You said in the summer that arm is different.
Yeah.
Now 2 games in, how have you seen his arm progress these first 2 games?
His arm has always been good since his freshman year, since he first got here. He always wowed me. Even in the spring last year as a freshman, we were like, dang, next year it's definitely his spot. He's going to be in control of it, and that's exactly what he's doing this year. And I can't wait to see how things play out for the rest of the season.
For people, Jeremiah, that aren't on the sidelines, they get to see how supportive you guys are as a wide receivers room. How special is this group off the field?
We very special. We all care for each other. Just want to see each other succeed. Even when I'm not in, or Carnell in, or Brendan in, we always see the young guys go in there, like Quincy or all the freshmen that just came in, Marlon, all them guys go and just shine, and we're just happy for them guys when they make plays.
Thanks, Jeremiah.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Jeremiah Smith, 5 catches, 119 yards, a pair of touchdowns. Paul, good to see him back in position to make those type of plays.
Well, when you get a pass down the middle of the tight end to start things, and you get Carnell Tate making the grabs that he's making, what are you going to do? It's pick your poison.
And Jim, again, if they're going to double or triple him, I mean, obviously there's other weapons out there.
And
for
Julian can find him. He can go through those progressions and find out, who's going to be open, by the coverage or who they're doubling or who they're trying to combo on the outside. And, that's one thing that's impressive about Julian. He's been able to distribute to a lot of different guys. He's thrown to backs, he's thrown to the tight ends, he's thrown to all 3 of the wide receivers. I was impressed, too, with Mylan Graham. He put a nice shake move on to get loose and get up the field. It looked like a guy might have had an angle on him.
Coach Cooper, if you're Ohio this week, what do you try to do defensively to find any way to slow Ohio State down?
I'm going to try to keep that ball as long as I can. I'm going to play good defense by running the football. And you're going to have to tackle my quarterback. I'm going to make the defense account for my quarterback. But how are you going to cover all these wide receivers we got? We got 3 of the best of anybody in the country. We got 4 or 5 tight ends, as we talked about. You can run any kind of formation you can, We got running backs. We got quarterback that can throw the football. We're going to be a tough team to beat.
When you start taking a look at, Ohio coming in here on Saturday, one, they're going to be excited to play here. Mm-hmm. And 2, you have to think that, they do think that they can win. I mean, that's the mentality they have. They were Mid-American Conference champions.
Well, absolutely. Year. I mean, they were close to getting Rutgers 2 weeks ago, a big win over West Virginia. And, their quarterback, Parker Navarro, he's a slippery cat. He showed that, he rushed for over 1,000 last year. He's a guy that can make things happen with his feet. And they've got, a couple of receivers that are really impressive. Chase Hendricks, who's had 17 catches already this year, is a good-looking pass catcher.
Next guy has 5, closest to him, so he's a go-to guy. But I look at their defense. I think both their linebackers, Jack Freese and Michael Molnar, are good football players. Looks like their corner number 7, Tank Pearson, is a guy that can cover guys and step up and make some big plays. So, with him being 5'7", you're going to have to body him. Get him. And with our tall receivers, that can be an advantage to him. But they have some guys that can step up, and they got a winning attitude. That they've won a lot of football games there the last couple of years. So they're coming out with the expectations to going out there and playing as hard as they can and compete and win.
We win the toss, Jim. We're going to kick off or receive.
I take the ball.
Take the ball. Okay.
Yeah, that's what we always did in the NFL, and I just felt like it's better to get ahead, take that opening drive down and score.
Coming up next, we'll be joined by Austin Ward, Letterman Rowe, amongst others, as the Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
More of Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King coming up on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Hi, I'm Archie Griffin, two-time Heisman Trophy winner. The right coverage can be a game changer, both on and off the field. That's why Encova Insurance and their local independent agents are prepared for what's next and protect what matters most to you. Whether that's your home, car, business, or family, Encova's got your back with a policy that fits you perfectly. With local independent agents in your neighborhood and innovative insurance products that can be tailored to fit your unique needs, Encova's playbook is an easy win for your peace of mind. You can trust their team of agents to develop a strategy that's just right for you. And it's not just X's and O's. Your expert agent will guide you and provide insurance solutions so you can confidently manage your risk and count on a financially secure future. For auto, home, and business insurance, you want Encova on your team. Visit Encova.com today to find an agent near you. Encova is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
True North convenience stores are your coffee and fountain champions. Fuel up your game day with True Rewards. Buy 6 True Brew coffees or True Oasis fountain drinks and get your 7th free. Whether you're heading to a game or watching from home, grab a True Brew coffee or an ice-cold True Oasis fountain drink to keep you going all 4 quarters. Find True Rewards in your app store or visit TrueNorthStores.com to get started. True North convenience stores. Fast, friendly, clean. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
AEP Energy wants to know if you're ready to say goodbye to higher rates and hello to savings. Get your energy costs under control by locking in a fixed rate for your electricity supply. You'll lower your bills and get price protection from rising rates. Take control and lock in a low fixed rate. Visit aepenergy.com/OSU to get started. AEP Energy, the official electricity and natural gas sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. AEP Energy is a competitive retail electrical and natural gas service provider and affiliate of Ohio Power Company, AEP Ohio. AEP Energy is not soliciting on behalf of and is not an agent of AEP Ohio.
Hey, Buckeye fans! As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Toyota has more all-wheel drive or electrified hybrid choices than anyone else, like the family-size Highlander and the bigger, more powerful Grand Highlander. Now through September 30th, get a new 25 Highlander or Grand Highlander with 4.75 APR financing. Or you can get 5.75 APR financing on hybrid models with approved credit through TFS. Plus, you get 2 years no-cost maintenance. For complete details, go to Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Your home for Ohio State Athletics. The Fan. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
Welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show, presented by Burger King, where you rule. With Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper, I'm Skip Mossick. Saturday, Ohio State held Grambling State to 0-1 on trips inside the 20. This defensive summary brought to you by Anduril, whose mission is to transform U.S. military capabilities through advanced technology. Anduril, an official sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeye Roundtable Insiders.
Joined for a few minutes now by Austin Ward, Letterman Rowe. Austin, Ohio State rolls Grambling State 70-0. Not that they had to do anything, but what did Ohio State kind of do, I guess, to validate their win over Texas in week 1?
Yeah, great question. Great to be with you guys, as always, on a Monday night. I think it wasn't so much reminding people what they were capable of, because beating Texas in the opener really solidified that the reigning national champions weren't going anywhere. But I think what happened on Saturday more than anything else was, if there had been people that were, let's say nationally, or poll voters that were skeptical about Ohio State's ability to reload in terms of talent on this roster, getting a look at just the second half, regardless of competition. Like I think Grambling came in and fought their butts off. We've seen other opponents come into the horseshoe and lay down. But once you got into the backups and the freshmen and the reserves, and you saw someone, exploding onto the scene like Bo Jackson or Riley Pettijohn on defense, that was a reminder, I think, for many people that this team has a bunch of young superstars waiting in the wings, and that as difficult as it may have seemed to replace all of those draft picks and the veterans that were so key on the run through the playoff last year, this team has recruited at a high level. It has retained at a high level. It has supplemented through the transfer portal, and it remains one of the most talented rosters in the country.
Austin, what are you seeing different for this defense under Matt Patricia?
A lot of variety, Paul. I just, the play that sticks out in my mind is not even just because of how sensational the athletic interception was from Caleb Downs on Saturday, but he was lined up at the line of scrimmage, and we've seen him play some at linebacker, or as if he was a linebacker. We've seen him to talk about the big nickel, moving him all around the field, but it had never really occurred to me that, hey, what if Caleb Downs just lines up across from an offensive guard and then drops into coverage? And that's just one play out of one game, but I think even through 2 weeks now, we've seen just a bunch of creative looks, different blitzes, different coverages, different schemes, moving around Arvell Reese, moving around Sonny Styles, moving around the guys on the defensive line. Sometimes it's 3 down, sometimes it's 4, sometimes you're seeing 5 or 6 against Texas. So I think that, I had this notion, and there was the conversation in the offseason about Matt Patricia and the Bible and the experience that he's had, through all that long run in the NFL, that he could run any kind of defense. I didn't think he was going to do all of it at once, but he's capable of changing Ohio State's defense from game to game and sometimes even from drive to drive.
Austin, I know it's early in the Big Ten, but who are some of the teams that have really been impressive to you and, some that we have to look out for?
Yeah, Jim, I think that Oregon has done something very similar to Ohio State in terms of being able to reload and revamp and retool on the fly with their roster. And this has been sort of the team where the recruiting battles have gone head to head, and the NIL conversation and all those other fun things that we spent too much time talking about, or at least maybe I did in the off season. Oregon is incredibly talented. And, we saw, I think, 2 really, 1.5 maybe good games between these 2 teams a year ago. I think we're going to be in for more of that, maybe in a Big Ten championship game, maybe in a postseason rematch. Who knows? But I think Oregon is there at the top. And then in terms of teams that are already on the Ohio State schedule, I was kind of on alert already. I think that there's a pain that can come from playing against Illinois, and Duke felt that last weekend. That game, as you know, Jim, going there and playing at any time a year, it's like the wind kicks up and things get weird in Champaign, and now Brett Bielema has built a team that can run the football, has a little bit better, maybe upgraded quarterback. They're going to play tough defense. We're looking at Ohio State's schedule there, and the teams that they're guaranteed to play. That Illinois game, I don't think, is going to be a fun road trip for anybody. And it's they've got to get through USC and Indiana this month. USC, looked like their offense is roared back to life early on. That's really, I think, going to be one of the key games of this entire early stretch of the season is, can Illinois or USC stamp their flag as contenders? And I kind of think Illinois can.
A couple of questions from me. Do you think we've seen all the formations and plays and whatever on offense and defense so far this year? Well, is there any more that we can that we haven't shown?
Well, I would defer to you on that one, Coach, but I think that there is certainly a lot more that both Brian Hartline can get to offensively and what Matt Patricia has available to him. I think because even once you went through Saturday against Grambling and there were a variety of different looks that we saw, I'm not sure that is anywhere near the most creative game plan that we will see from Matt Patricia as the season goes on. And I think when I mentioned Riley Pettijohn and the impression he made at linebacker on Saturday, he's not going to take a job away from Arvell Reese or Sonny Styles and probably not from Peyton Pierce either. But I think that there's a possibility where there could be games where we see 4 linebacker looks. That could be 3-4, that could be 2-4 with some other configurations in the secondary. I don't know exactly what that would look like, but I know that Matt Patricia's got a really deep bag of tricks here. And when it comes to the offensive side with Brian Hartline, what we've seen through these first 2 weeks, Coach, is a lot of 12, 13, 14 personnel. I think against Texas, something that was mentioned to me was that was the highest percentage of multi-tight end groupings of the entire Ryan Day era. I don't think every game is going to be played that way, although it could be with, the 4 and 5 tight ends that Ohio State has on this roster who they trust them all. They've played a lot in these first couple games. But, that could be the next thing that they get to expand the arsenal for Julian Sayin is maybe, different looks with the wide receivers and involving Bryson Rodgers and Mylan Graham more alongside Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate and Brandon Ennis. But I think that there is more versatility available to them, and I think that's what's really fun to talk about with this Ohio State team right now is that they're not just content to roll out the same offense, defense, special teams as the last couple of years. They're continuing to evolve, and that means every week is a new thing to pay attention to.
Hey, talent-wise, rank these 3 teams for me: Oregon, Penn State, Ohio State. Talent, just talent.
Yeah, I would say Ohio State. Penn State is probably number 2. I think if you look through the recruiting rankings, and then Oregon is 3rd. I remain skeptical of James Franklin personally. So that Oregon-Penn State game is going to be really fun to watch here at the end of the month, and will probably tell us who the true contender is to come match up with the Buckeyes maybe later on this year in Indianapolis.
We've been playing football here 136 years at Ohio State, and Julian Sayin in the second game has the record for most completions. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's the stuff that we were hearing from Ryan Day and Brian Hartline coming out of week 1 is that they had a pretty conservative offensive game plan. Turns out it was a prudent way to approach that game and get out of it with a win. You can't question it in hindsight, but Ryan Day himself did. He said that maybe there was more veteran poise and arm talent and ability than even Ohio State's coaching staff had given him credit for when they named him the starter midway through camp, Jim. And I think that bared itself out. I can't think of more than maybe 2 balls he's thrown through 2 games that were off target. Even the interception, I think it was just more of maybe a half second late on the decision. And then he kind of had to put one in the dirt in week 1 against Texas when maybe a screen got blown up and Colin Simmons was in his face. But outside of that, every single ball has been where it needs to be. It's been really impressive to watch.
Austin Ward, we always appreciate your insight. Thanks for hopping on tonight, okay?
Appreciate you guys. Talk to you again soon.
And Austin Ward, Letterman Row, you can catch him just about everywhere. just searching. He's out there working his tail off covering Ohio State football. Up next, we will wrap things up this evening with some chalk talk as Ohio State again prepares to face Ohio. That's as tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show continues.
You're listening to Buckeye Roundtable, presented by Burger King on the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Now, the officials have been talking for quite some time.
All righty, let's see what they have to say.
Upon further review, there is no penalty on the play. However, we have conferred and discovered that Bob, the line judge, has saved a boatload for his kids' college using Ohio's 529 plan. It is tax-free, accepted nationwide. Bob recommends we all go to collegeadvantage.com. First down.
Well, that's not entirely unexpected.
Classic Bob.
Hey, Buckeye fans, are you thinking of consolidating your debt with a home equity loan? Union Home Mortgage wants you to know the average homeowner has over $200,000 of home equity available, and they can help you get access to your money quickly and easily. Go to UHM.com to get your cash estimate today. You'll score financial freedom with Union Home Mortgage, the official home lending sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Union Home Mortgage Corp is an equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 2229.
There's one medical team in Central Ohio skilled enough to care for your favorite Ohio State team, and Buckeyes everywhere. The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center is your choice for the most highly specialized orthopedic and sports medicine care. Our surgeons, physicians, and physical therapists have access to the most advanced treatments and innovative recovery approaches to get you back in your game. Because on or off the field, our team is your team. The choice for your orthopedic care is clear.
Hey, Ohio State fans! Next time that snack craving hits, Burger King has you covered with the O-Fry O bundle. You get a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, and an 8-piece chicken nuggets, all for just $10. It's perfect snack fuel for one, wherever and whenever you're cheering on the scarlet and gray. At BK, have it your way. You rule! Limited time only at participating Ohio area restaurants. BK is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Tax extra.
They're trained. They're prepared.
Let's do it.
They're Ohio's undefeated plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling team. And they're here to tackle your problems. For plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling, there's only one team. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results. Call the Waterworks at 614-232-2222 or visit them online at thewaterworks.com. A proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Buckeye fans, this is for you. Level up with the brand new AAA Buckeyes MVP membership. You'll receive all the benefits of AAA, such as 24/7 roadside assistance, plus chances to win tickets to Ohio State sporting events, access to exclusive MVP experiences, along with 10% off select gear at the Ohio State team shop. Already a AAA member? Add the Buckeyes MVP membership for free. Head to AAA.com/Buckeyes to upgrade or join the squad and put your fandom in drive.
American Electric Power is a proud sponsor of Buckeyes Care.
Hi, I'm Janelle Coleman with American Electric Power. AEP comes together with our communities to create a better future every day. Whether we serve, build, or simply share with others, we make Central Ohio brighter for our neighbors. Our collaboration with Buckeyes Care is another way we work to make the future boundless for all.
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State Athletics.
And welcome back, everybody, into tonight's Buckeye Roundtable show with Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, Coach John Cooper in with us tonight. I'm Skip Mossick. We are proudly presented by Burger King. Visit your local BK restaurant to grab your $10 O-Fry O bundle. That includes a medium fry, 8-piece chicken fries, 8-piece mozzarella fries, 8-piece chicken nuggets, and a custom OSU crown. All for just $10 at your local Burger King.
Buckeye Roundtable, Chalk Talk.
Wrap things up with some Chalk Talk. Always like to start this segment with the delivery of the game. Keels, who would you like to see Ohio State needs to deliver most for Ohio State to get the win against Ohio?
You know what? I'd love to see, Skip, one of those running backs break loose on one of those long runs like we saw Travion Henderson do last year. I know you'd like that, wouldn't you, Coach?
Absolutely. I want to watch our quarterback again, though. I think he had a great game last week. I think he's going to get better each week.
Each and every game's won in the trenches. I want to see our defensive line dominate, our offensive line dominate. Anytime we go out there and do that, that allows all that skill position they have around them to go out there and get their jobs done.
A little bit more on the Bobcats. We talked about him earlier, fellas, but does it start and stop with Parker Navarro at quarterback?
I don't think there's any question, Skip. He's a guy that can hurt you through the air. He can hurt you on the ground. He's got some good pass-catching targets, and they've run the ball reasonably well. Bangura, a young man who started at OU, went to Minnesota, went back to Athens. Must have loved it down there, especially a Halloween weekend, that's where they really seem to be at their best. At least they were last year with Navarro and the dual threat that he brings.
And then Chase Hendricks, as we brought up, number 7, the wide receiver. He's a guy that has made a lot of plays these first 2 ball games, and I think he's a guy that can step up. Parker Navarro's from Tempe, Arizona. Was at UCF, I believe.
Yes,
right?
he was.
And then transferred, last year. After they lost Curtis Rourke to Indiana, went to Ohio, and what did he do? Just let him do a MAC championship game, and he's back. But as we said, he's a dual threat guy, can do a lot of things. Throwing the football, obviously, but also with his feet.
I'm sure they've been looking forward to this game for a long, long time, guys. And we better get ready. We're going to get their best shot. We cannot turn the ball over and give them good field position.
Defensively, have they shown you anything that might slow Ohio State down? They held WVU to 10 points and just 250 yards.
Yeah, the crazy thing about that, Skip, and it doesn't play exactly what you're asking about, but WVU got turnovers but couldn't take advantage of it. So defensively, they were able to kind of make a quick turnaround after the Ohio offense had put the defense in a bad spot. So that's the thing that was impressive about what they did last week.
Looking at their defense, on third downs, their conversion rate is only 13% against their defense. So that's impressive. But then on fourth down, the opponents have been 5 of 6. So they've been a good third down defense, and obviously to be good on third down, you got to be good on first and second down to get them in those third and long situations. But No, they have some guys that can step up and make some plays. I think John Hauser, their defensive coordinator, has done a good job of getting those guys prepared each and every week to go out and play.
Can their quarterback run the ball?
Yes. Very effective. He's our leading rusher.
Hauser, another Hartley boy, just so you know. How good is Ohio State's defense, fellas? Just 7 points in 2 games.
Very good, especially when you consider we saw Texas start to flex a little of their muscle this past week against San Jose State. So, take what you will about the Grambling game, but we think very good.
Yeah, the number one.
I think a little more than that. I think it's excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. I don't know how you get any better.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can play any better than we played the first 2 weeks.
They're number one defense in the country last year, and they're on track of being that again this year, the way they're playing.
In-state opponents, do you like it? Would you like to see more of them, Coach Cooper?
No.
No on both?
No, we're going to take their best shot. No question about it.
Well, I know you didn't like it when you were coaching.
No.
Well, I think a lot of us do. Jim mentioned it last week. It keeps the money in state, but it gets the kids on those other teams excited to play. And we've seen some close ones, but we've also seen some ones that really have been kind of not much in doubt.
I think the stats we're 53-1 against in-state opponents, and that last loss was in
Oberlin.
Oberlin, in 1920 something
like that.
So
but we remember 2002 down at Paul Brown Stadium.
They can be scary. Yeah,
it was interesting. I'd like to see UC a little more often. I think as opposed.
I would agree,
just to see that kind of stuff.
And I wonder if the Bowling Green thing with Eddie George now might come back around.
You think?
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah.
I think we'd love to have him. I don't think he would ring the bell for us.
No, he wouldn't ring the bell.
Buckeyes in the NFL. Week 1, Jim Lachey.
Well, how about those Ohio State wide receivers? We know that Brian Hartline and has done such a great job recruiting those guys, and Ryan Day's provided great quarterbacks to throw to them. But yesterday was again outstanding. Jackson Smith and Jigma, 9 receptions, 124 yards. Garrett Wilson, 7 receptions, 95 yards and a TD. Marvin Harrison, 5 receptions, 71 yards and a TD. Emeka Ibuka, first game, catches 2 touchdowns, had 4 receptions for 67 yards. Chris Olave, 7 receptions for 54 yards. He got rocked a little bit in that game. I hope he's going to be okay. Noah Brown with the Commanders had 2 receptions, 22 yards. Cade Stover, the tight end with the Houston Texans, had 4 receptions for 27 yards. And the funny thing about that, the best receiver might still be in college here at Ohio State, Jeremiah Smith. Wait till he gets an opportunity in another 2 years.
Tough week for kickers in week 1, just to the Browns and the Falcons after week number 1.
That was incredible.
Guys,
don't let it come down to a kick.
No, Coach Cooper.
We got a couple backup kickers around here. They should be playing for somebody. I'm telling you.
Guys, great job tonight. Buckeye Roundtable presented by Burger King has been brought to you statewide by Encova Insurance, the American Dairy Association Mideast, Window Nation, and by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. For our producer tonight, Colin Behringer, and for Jim Lachey, Paul Keels, and Coach John Cooper, I'm Skip Mossick. As always, thanks for listening from Learfield. This is the Ohio State Sports Network, presented by the Ohio State Wexner Medical Center, the team physicians for Ohio State athletics.